Hey guys, welcome to the October newsletter. Here's the tip for this month. Last month I talked about scales and how to create fast-running scales in your chord progressions in your fingerstyle playing. Well, this time I thought I'd do something on electric and maybe simplify a little bit, and let's talk about chords. So if you had a chord progression that you were looking at, which is maybe a D, a G, and an A, well, every other guitar player on earth would play this: a D, a G, and an A. So if your chord progression went something like this, well, that's pretty cool and all, but let's see if we can pull some more things out of that same chord progression to make our playing stand out a little bit. So I can let's break that chord apart a little bit. Let's take just the top half of that D chord. So I'm taking just these three notes. Then instead of playing the open G, I'm going to play a bar G, or think of it like a bar G, and I'm just going to take the top half of that bar G. So I've got these three notes. Then I'll do the same thing with the A. So if I have an A chord, I'll take the top half of that. So these are the three chords that I'm dealing with: D, G, and an A. Do you have me so far? Okay, so I've just adjusted it a little bit. Even if I just do that and strum with it, I create a little bit different sound. So let's hear how that sounds. That's getting pretty interesting. What if I break that up a little bit and do kind of arpeggiate those chords a little bit? All right, so I've added some different things. What if I did, maybe I can do power chords at the bottom. So there, instead of taking the top three notes, I'm taking some of the lower three notes. What if I change my form a little bit? Maybe I made it into a kind of a D2 form. And then that finger right out there. So I'm still just playing three notes, but I did that for the D, and I did that for the G, and I did that for the A. Well, let's see what happens with that. Maybe I can break it up. Already I'm getting all kinds of creative sounds out of it. Okay, so let me shift it from those chords. Let's try something different here. Let's just think of it in a different range on the guitar. What if I had a D, and I'm going to think about it way up here as a bar chord. But I'm not going to play all of the bar chord. I'm just going to do the top three strings, just like we did before. So I would be playing the D like that. And then the G chord, well, maybe I can play it like this, use this form of it. Remember, this is kind of like a C chord. If you back that all the way down, there would be a C chord, but if I bar that first finger and move it all the way up here to G, I've got a G chord and an A chord. Well, what if I just did the top half of those, end up with that form and that form? So I have a D, a G, and an A, and I'm thinking about it in that range. All right, well, let's see what we can do there. Gets kind of a Jamaican island feel going here. But what if we broke that up a little bit more? What if I added, maybe I could, as long as we're going with the Jamaican feel, I'm going to kind of mute this with my palm here. I'm going to use the bottom four strings on each of those forms, kind of come up with a little Jamaican feel. stuff. What if I threw, as long as we're in that kind of Jamaican island theme, what if I did some sixths? So if I just took a D scale and I went up it in sixths, that's kind of an island, a Jamaican way of playing it. What if I threw those in there? So now I have some other creative things that I can do. What if I took my little what if I moved it down here? I'm just kind of thinking out. What if I have I use this D form as my bass, maybe this G and this A, and I kind of broke that up and muted that down, and I just used the root, the fifth, and the third of each one of those forms. Root, fifth, third, root, fifth, third. So instead of playing the whole chord, I'm just playing the root, fifth, and third. Alright, well, there are some ideas of being able to look at a chord progression, and instead of playing it just like you would always play it, kind of defaulting to just playing, suddenly with a little bit of thought of how you can break these chord forms apart, you could end up with something a lot more interesting. By just taking those forms, looking at them a little bit differently, and taking pieces of those forms rather than just playing the whole open chord all the time. Anyway, that's your tip for this month. I hope you're doing well. Please keep up the practicing. Your dream is worth it. And I'll catch you later. See ya.